Coming up this week on the News at Rider, Lasso held a talent show in the BLC Theater. SEC is busy planning upcoming events, and Rider takes part in nationwide Ha Ha Week. Hi, and welcome to the News at Rider. I'm Kelly Dixon. This past Tuesday evening, the Rider University Latin American Student Organization ran a talent show for Hispanic Heritage Month in the BLC Theater. Anthony Santiago has more.
This past Tuesday evening, Lasso sponsored a talent show for Hispanic Heritage Month. The event opened its doors at 8 p.m. and featured many talented acts from dancers to singers throughout the evening. The month of November honors people of Hispanic heritage, and Rider's Latin American Student Organization continues to run events on campus with the slogan Orgullo Latino, or Latin Pride. The event provided an opportunity for the Hispanic community here at Rider University to join as a community and have time to show their talents. More events will be held here on campus, and Lasso hopes that attendance and support will continue to grow throughout the month of November. From the BLC Theater, this has been Anthony Santiago, Channel 20, News at Rider.
Lasso will be sponsoring events to honor Hispanic Heritage Month throughout the rest of the month. Keep on the lookout for upcoming dates. This past Wednesday, students got together to help contribute to Ha Ha Week. I had the chance to stop by the sandwich making stations. This past week was Homeless and Hunger Awareness Week on Rider's campus. On Wednesday, students helped to prepare for a midnight run. The sandwich making was sponsored by Alpha Zeta Delta, and some of their sisters explained to us what was going on.
This week is Ha Ha Week. It's Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week. And AZD is sponsoring sandwich making this week, and it's located in 3 locations: Fine Arts, Memorial, and Daly's Dining Hall.
We're going to take these sandwiches on the midnight run and distribute them to homeless people in New York City.
Nicole Lermond, the co-chair of Ha Ha Week, told us about other events that were taking place throughout the week on Rider's campus.
On Monday, we were in Daly's weighing the wasted food that students wasted between lunchtime 12 and 1. I believe the results were 159.4 pounds of food just in a given hour that were wasted in Daly's. Monday's event was sponsored by Math in Action. Last night we made fleece blankets to donate on tonight's midnight run, and that was sponsored by the Psychology Club. Today, Alpha Zeta Delta is sponsoring the peanut butter and jelly stations. And then tomorrow, SIGEP is sponsoring a candlelight vigil in front of the Moore Library at 7, and the Bonners are sponsoring a Faces of Homelessness panel tomorrow night as well at 7:30. And Rider Serves is sponsoring an arrest on Friday.
Rider is not the only place where Ha Ha Week is taking place.
This is a recognized week. The National Coalition for Hunger and Homelessness Awareness basically reaches out to all different campuses and stuff. It actually came onto campus by Rider Community Scholar members a few years ago, and we just kind of looked to other people to keep the tradition going.
Students who weren't even signed up decided to lend a helping hand.
I was walking by a little bit early for my class, and I decided that I would make a sandwich for the homeless.
Some students feel that community service does not only benefit the needy.
It always makes me feel good to help out other people.
To be able to do this, it makes anyone feel good.
There are plenty of other opportunities to get involved with community service on Rider's campus.
Heather Brisby is a great resource. She's the coordinator of community service here on campus over in the BLC, and she always has events and stuff that people can get involved with to help the community.
For the News at Rider, this has been Kelly Dixon. On Thursday, Nicholas Balassi sat down with Dr. David Lewis to discuss the upcoming 2008 presidential election. Here is a clip from the interview.
George W. Bush was famous for saying, I don't listen to the polls. They don't matter to me. I don't read the paper and this and that during when he was running for presidency the second time. Do you think these polls are accurate when we hear all these numbers about who's winning and who's not?
Well, I think they're pretty. There's a lot of room for movement in these polls, so I don't put a whole lot of stake in the polls at this point. Partly because people just don't know much about the candidates, right? So they might be able to recognize their name, but they don't know what they stand for yet. That's differs across states, right? So if you live in Iowa or you live in New Hampshire, you live in, I guess this year in Nevada, people are going to know a little bit more about you than otherwise, and so maybe those polls mean a little bit more. Look, it's a fun parlor game to keep track of these polls and figure out who's doing well and who's doing poorly. The one group that does pay attention are the sort of party elites that are trying to both pick a candidate that's consistent with their ideology but also can win in the general election. And so they'll pay some attention to kind of who's ahead and what they think about that person. So it can matter there. But again, there's a lot of variability in these polls at this stage, a lot of undecideds, a lot of people who just don't have much information. And they'll solidify the closer we get to the campaigns.
Now, how about somebody like Ron Paul, who is one of the only Republican who voted against the 2002 resolution to disarm Iraq? Do you think he should be picking up more support? Does it surprise you that he's not getting as much?
Well, it's a difficult position for a Republican to be in, to sort of be the anti-war Republican. Ron Paul's a quirky guy in general, so he's not really, sort of more on the libertarian part of the, of the Republican Party, and so he doesn't vote with the party as much as he should. He's not seen as a team player, and so, look, when you're trying to win the nomination, it is partly a party game, and so even though we have primaries and those are important, if you don't play the party game, people aren't going to support you, and so that's why he has sort of an insurgent campaign. The sort of internet and this kind of stuff. It's not really driven through party leaders because, frankly, I don't think they like him very much. And plus, the Republican voters are the ones who are less concerned about the Iraq War and most likely to support it or support the president. And so that doesn't get a lot of traction in a nomination campaign. It'd get more traction in a general election campaign.
For the complete interview, stay tuned for On the Issues with Nicholas Balassi. On Wednesday evening, CCM held a night in Santo Domingo. Anthony Santiago was there and has more.
This past Wednesday evening, November 7th, Catholic Campus Ministry sponsored a charity event in the Cavala Room. A night in Santo Domingo was sponsored by CCM to raise money for orphans in the Dominican Republic. Every year, Catholic Campus Ministry travels to the Hogar Escuela Armando Rosenberg Orphanage in Santo Domingo during the winter break. A misfortune occurred this past year when a recent tropical storm ravaged the area in the Dominican Republic. This year, CCM is attempting to bring some relief. A night in Santo Domingo was a buffet and dance that featured traditional Hispanic foods such as arroz con pollo, or rice with chicken, and plátanos, also known as plantains. All of the food was cooked by CCM board members and volunteers. The dance started about a half an hour into the event and featured such Latino music as merengue, bachata, salsa, and reggaeton. All proceeds from the event, including ticket sales, 50-50, and donations, were to benefit the orphans in the Dominican. Overall, the night was a success and the objective completed. From the Cavala Room, this has been Anthony Santiago, Channel 20, News at Rider.
Coming up this weekend here at Rider, on Friday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., the Geological, Environment, and Marine Science Department will have Jason Adolf, an assistant research scientist at UMBI Center of Marine Biotechnology, to talk about fish caught in the crossfire. Mr. Adolf will speak in room 109 of the Science and Technology Building. At 7:30 p.m., SEC will be showing Superbad in the BLC Theater. Superbad can also be seen on Saturday evening at 7:30. At 8 p.m., the Yvonne Theater will be showing Sweet Charity, a musical comedy written by Neil Simon and featuring the music of Kai Coleman. The performance has 36 Rider students. Sweet Charity will be performed again on Saturday evening, also at 8 p.m. Tickets are $10 for the general public and $5 for students, faculty, and staff. For more information, call 609-896-5303. At 10 p.m., Daly's Dining Hall will be filled with students for the Bronc Buffet. Bronc Buffet is open to all Rider students with a valid ID. The event is from 10 p.m. to midnight. On Saturday, SEC will have a free trip to New York City for the day. The bus will leave the BLC at 9 a.m. Students are asked to be ready to depart at 8:30. Starting at 8:30 a.m. on Saturday, CCM and ACS will have Christmas trees set up in the BLC and in the Guild Chapel. Students, faculty, and staff are encouraged to take an ornament from the tree and purchase a toy for a Mill Hill child. At 5 p.m., Campus Life will be having a six-man appreciation night in the Rider Pub. The event will honor Rider's biggest fans with a celebration following the men's basketball game against Delaware. The event will have food, giveaway, music, and six-man t-shirts. At 8:30 p.m., the SRC lobby will be host to the music of Causeway as part of the Starbucks Music Series. Students can enjoy a fun-filled night of music while also enjoying Starbucks coffee. The Student Entertainment Council is planning some pretty exciting upcoming events. Nicole Lawrence has the scoop.
The Emerging Leaders is a group of students here at Rider that are looking to be the leaders of clubs and organizations here in the future. They meet on either Mondays or Thursdays and learn about different leadership skills. I got the chance to talk to the advisor, Cassie Iacovelli, and a freshman in her Thursday class.
Emerging Leaders program has been on this campus for the last 8 years. It's intended primarily for new students that enter Rider University. The first semester is geared mostly to the theme of connections. Topics each week include different fundamental strategies for how to be an effective leader. But when we first got started in this semester, we put a lot of time into preparing and implementing Midnight Madness. This program is an environment that's welcoming and hopefully inspiring. And hopefully I see it as a program that is the minor leagues for leadership, that hopefully these freshmen will be the major players in 4 years, 3 to 4 years.
Emerging Leaders basically has gotten me involved in a lot of things. I mean, the first program was the Midnight Madness, pretty much celebration. I got very involved in that and took a big leadership role in it, which was actually really the first time I've ever gotten that involved in a school program. And it has really given me the nudge towards actually wanting to get involved and trying to start some programs.
Currently, the Emerging Leaders are planning to go out on November 18th to help a family in need fix up their house. On September 1st, a mother of 5 passed away, and her 5 children are living with their grandparents. The family is struggling, so if you would like to get involved or make a donation of time or a Christmas present, contact Cassie Iacovelli at iacovell@rider.edu. We will keep you posted. This has been Nicole Lawrence for Channel 20 News at Rider.
The Rider University Network currently airs many different programs. I was able to speak with Jess Tack, creator and host of MIA, about how the show has grown over the past season. Music and Interview Affairs is in its second season here at Rider. The show's producer, Jess Tack, filled us in on what it takes to get a show started.
Well, MIA started out last year as sort of a 2-minute segment on What's Shakin'. And it got kind of frustrating for me because I'd go to shows, do interviews, and then I get a 2-minute segment. So I talked to Professor Kilday, and he's like, what if you had your own show? So I was like, oh, kind of cool, I have a full half hour. So that's how it all got started. And it's just really taken off since then. We've had a few Atlantic record artists, which is like a major label, and like a bunch of bands that have made on the Billboard charts that we've been able to interview. And it just consists of music videos, an interview, and a news package of some sort of just, underground news, of band releasing videos or things that are going on, like Clear Channel doing a lawsuit, that kind of thing.
With such a small crew, putting together a show can take a lot of work.
I pretty much do a lot of the things, like a lot of editing I do. I come in to help to do the studio shoots.
The show's team members feel that MIA is very beneficial to Rider's music scene.
Well, I know there are a lot of bands I've never heard of mentioned on the show, and so I think it kind of gets bands out there that people wouldn't normally hear. Like, everybody knows Soulja Boy, but they're just bands I've never even heard of, and I think it's a good way to be exposed to different music.
The students say their experiences with MIA will be beneficial to their futures.
Well, I'd love to eventually end up working for MTV, so I figure if I start working with a music show, that would be a good way to get into that.
I think just being able to know what goes into the music industry as far as promotional work and that kind of thing, because I work with a lot of managers, trying to get them, to let me come interview their band, and just seeing all the stuff that goes into, the booking and scheduling, all that sort of thing, has really been able to open up my eyes to the music industry, and also talking with the bands has been awesome.
Now that you know a little bit more about MIA, we hope that you'll tune in to Channel 20 and check out an episode. This has been Kelly Dixon. Bronx in action at home this weekend will be the wrestling team. The wrestling team will take on Iowa State at 7 p.m. this Friday. On Friday at 8 p.m., the ice hockey team will be taking on Wagner College at Locks Ice Center. On Saturday, the men's basketball team will play their home opener against Delaware at 3 p.m. in the Bronx Zoo. Be sure to arrive early to get a good seat as the men's team tips off their season at home. And now a look at this weekend's weather forecast. Friday will be partly cloudy and windy. The high will be 46 and a low of 31. Saturday will again be mostly cloudy with a high of 48 and a low of 36. Sunday will be cloudy in the morning, but the sun is sure to peek through in the afternoon. The high will be 45 and the low 31. Monday will be partly cloudy with a high of 44 and a low of 32. From all of us here at Channel 20, we would like to wish the Rider community a fun and safe weekend. We'll see you next time.